And we're live.
Great. Thank you so much, Dallas, and thanks everyone. We are here tonight this is a neighborhood meeting for a proposed fueling station at the Walmart located on Ken Pratt Boulevard, East Ken Pratt over by Slayton Drive. Dallas, can I have my presentation? Thank you. All right, next slide. So my name is Jennifer Hewitt-Apperson. I am a senior planner in our Planning and Development Services Department, and I am facilitating this meeting this evening. With us, we have Dallas Stiles, who is our digital video live stream guru and keeps us all moving along. We also have from the applicant team, Bob Bauer and Jennifer Perkins, who are going to talk about the project specifics. This is a virtual meeting. So our format is that I will give a presentation regarding kind of the overall process overview, and the applicant will then discuss the project in more detail. We'll open the forum up for people to call in. So we are being live streamed. So when it's time for call in, we will take a 5-minute break and folks can get in the queue. There will be instructions on the screen as far as how to call in and make any comments. And then we will open it back up and I'll let folks in, and you'll have 3 minutes to ask any questions or make any comments regarding the proposed project. And we'll also discuss next steps in terms of what comes next for this particular project. So next slide. So this particular slide will be put up at the time we break for call-in. This is basically our virtual housekeeping. We will indicate when it's time to call in. If you do call in, we ask that you mute the live stream so that it's just you calling in, because otherwise we'll get a lot of feedback. And then again, we'll have these instructions up when it's time to call in. Next slide. All right, so in terms of where this is located, as I mentioned, this is the Sandstone Marketplace Walmart. It is on the Weld County side of Longmont, directly west of the Sandstone Ranch Park with the baseball fields, etc. So this is at the southwest corner of East Ken Pratt and Slayton Drive. Next slide. So in terms of the project and the process, the applicant is proposing adding a fueling station to this particular Walmart that would be located within the parking lot, the existing parking area of the Walmart. This will require an amendment to the Sandstone Marketplace development plan and site plan. And because it is a development plan associated with a plan unit development, it would require public hearings before Planning and Zoning Commission and City Council. Next slide. So in terms of the zoning map, this particular site is zoned mixed use regional center. As I did note, there is a planned unit development overlay on this particular property that has the more detailed development plans. The envisioned Longmont comprehensive plan has this identified as regional center. It is surrounded by a mixture of uses. There is mixed use regional center opposite, on the northwest side of Ken Pratt and County Road 1, where the UC Health Longs Peak is located. Across the street is designated for primary employment uses. And then to the south, we have a variety of residential, as well as to the east, as mentioned, we do have the Sandstone Ranch Regional Park. So next slide. So in terms of existing conditions, this is an aerial showing the existing Walmart and parking area. The applicant will go into a little bit more detail, but they're proposing to put the fueling station in the northeast corner of the existing parking lot. There is, you'll see that larger landscape strip to the eastern side of the property, and that is a required 50-foot landscape setback from the park. And there are also some utility easements in there, so that area will not be disturbed as part of this process. I'll also note that we have not yet received an application. We do require that neighborhood meetings be held prior to submittal of the formal application. So this project is still in what we would call the pre-application process. Next slide. All right, my section was fairly quick and straightforward. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Bob and Jennifer to discuss the project specifics.
All right. Well, thank you, Jennifer. My name is Bob Bauer, project manager with CEI Engineering. Dallas, if we could get that presentation up that we have here. This first slide will be kind of an overall vision of the site plan on the existing Walmart parking lot. As you can see, we are putting it right there in that corner. We are not encroaching on the setback or any of the utility easements that run through there. We do envision, as you can see, the fuel delivery trucks coming in off of Slayton Drive and making its way through the site and then exiting the same way they come in. If you could go to the next slide. This will be a little more zoomed into the site plan. Whoop, there we go. This is a 1,600 square foot convenience store building, along with 8 pumps and 3 20,000 gallon tanks to supply the fuel. To make this happen, the current parking is at 4.87 per 1,000 square feet of store space for the existing supercenter. We will be removing 95 stalls with adding 7 back in front of the store, and we'll overall of 4.42 per 1,000 parking after the construction of the project. If you This is the elevations for the convenience store and the canopy. As you can see, we are using some of the stone veneer, much like it does have on the supercenter, and then the standard Walmart logo of blue and with the yellow spark and the white Walmart. We are enclosing the columns with the stone veneer as well, so that is a little more aesthetically pleasing. And the next slide. We are changing the that faces up there on Ken Pratt. This base will stay the same. The overall sign size will stay the same. It's just we're going to shrink up the Walmart portion of it to put a price reader at the end of it to be able to show the price of the gas out there on Ken Pratt. And that is the extent of our presentation. Do we have any questions from anyone?
Great, thank you so much. Dallas, if we can get my presentation back up, then we'll get ready to open it up for questions. All right, so next steps in this project will be submittal of an application for final development plan amendment. This would then be go through the review and recommendation process with our development review committee. We will be posting and mailing out notices of application once the application is filed. Once the development review committee has finished its recommendation or finished its review and made its recommendations, it would then go to the public hearing process. And with each public hearing, there will be again mailed and posted notice in the form of signs. So and in the case of the public hearings, there would also be notice in the newspaper as well as per our requirements. Next step, next slide. All right, so we're coming to public comment. We're going to take on the next slide will be posted. We'll take a 5-minute break. Our ground rules for public comment are to keep it to 3 minutes per speaker. You'll state your name and where you live. And then also we ask that you keep questions and comments relevant to the current proposal. So with that, next slide. All right, so time to call in. These are your instructions for calling in. I'll turn it over to Dallas and he will talk you through that process.
Sure thing. So we do have 5 minutes on the clock right now. Folks, if you're trying to call in, you can dial the toll-free number 1-888-788-0099. When you're prompted, please enter the meeting ID 839-8152-2831. You'll then be placed in our queue. We'll add you into the meeting. And then once our 5 minutes is up, I will start calling on you by the last 3 digits of your phone number. To unmute, you'll hit *6. To raise your hand for a follow-up question after everyone is gone will be *9. We'll repeat that. And after our 5 minutes is up, we'll see you guys back here in 5 minutes.
Great. Thank you, Dallas.
We have about a minute left for callers trying to call in. If you are there, just again, dial in the toll-free number 1-888-788-0099, and you should be prompted with the meeting ID number, and you will type 839-8152-3831. Again, we've got about 45 seconds now before we will close the public invited to be heard. All right. I am going to drop the slide now. And Jennifer, I am not seeing any callers in our chat.
All right. Well, if you'll just put up the slide that has my contact information, we can close this out.
Sure thing. Give me just a second.
Sure. So as I noted previously, this project is still in the pre-application process or state of the application. And if you have any questions after this meeting, feel free to reach out. My contact information is posted, Jennifer Hewitt Apperson at the City of Longmont, and I can be reached at 303-651-8439. And my email is jennifer.hewittapperson@longmontcolorado.gov. So with that, we will close this meeting, and thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you.